Coach, we got to ask you, man. It's good that Terry's there and he is holding in, so he's at practice. That's good. We see the interaction with the fans, and the fans are loving it. What do you anticipate? I know you don't have anything to do with the contract negotiations. I get that, but what do you anticipate? What's your gut telling you of when he'll start practicing? You think?
Yeah, right, Jason. It's when you go on to PUP, there's an element, from the first part where there's some rehab that goes, and so for Terry specifically. An ankle, it's not that uncommon where towards the end of a season, you have that and you're dealing with a little bit in the off season. I don't have a specific timetable on it. We're thankful that he's here and that the work's getting done. But he and Sam Cosme, they do rehab and some days field work, some days, rehab, strengthening work, and then in the afternoons meetings, and they're able to, watch the walkthroughs in the evening, although they can't go through them yet. So we'll just take it, step by step with he or any player really in this spot. Like, we're not going to miss anything, man, and take the next step. But I don't have a timeline to say it's, 3 days or, 5 days into that space. We're just going to make sure, like, he can absolutely, fully be Terry and let it rip. And then we'll begin the process. And then it goes then it's individual work and then some team reps. So it's kind of like a build-up to get yourself ready. At the start of training camp, that's what we did with the team. Like, we ramp up, shorter practice, a little bit longer. So when a player's coming off PUP, you really need to do the same with them because they missed that ramp up. So once that part happens, Jason will do the same thing, but I don't have a timeline of when that is yet. But that's where we're at.
Coach, so I assume, you got so many options. Obviously Zach Ertz had such an unbelievable year last year. Adding Debo, so exciting. But, so I assume they get more balls. Let's say you have a couple, inter-squad scrimmages, et cetera. God forbid you have a game or two without him. Who knows? But, who replaces Terry? Who literally runs the routes if Terry's not there that Terry runs?
That's a good question, EB. It's the first part of camp you put in the system. And meaning, we're still, we it install. So it's basically, hey, here's the chapters we have to know for today. Sometimes it's red zone, sometimes it's some third down, sometimes might be short yardage. So once you get done the installs, then you start featuring who would be for this route, where would we want to do this player, and you do some exploring right now. And one of Cliff's superpowers is finding the right people and putting them into the right locations. I really admire that about him, whether it's where Zach locates, where, Debo's been so far. That part of his game, he is always kind of thinking into that space. So for Terry, for Debo, we've added Jalen Lane, Noah's here, Luke. So how are we putting the running backs in? When we got some tight ends that we're excited about, how would we feature them? Those are the things, as coaches, that keep you up at night in a good way to say, all right, how am I going to get this guy better? Where would I put him? So coaches think that way, and it's one of the things that Cliff is elite at. And we're kind of a few more days of these installs, really up to the New England week. And then after that, we kind of get back to say, okay, how would we put this person here? How would we put this person there? A little bit of practice back and forth. Let's see this matchup. Let's play man-to-man. Let's put Amos against this player. All right, let's go, the next matchup. Let's see this safety against Will Harris against Ertz. And a little bit of chess match to go for guys training, evaluating, can the route work. When you go year two as a staff, what I've been pleased to see, they're collaborating more. We were doing an end-of-the-game scenario the other day, and the night before, it was, the offensive coaches and the defensive coaches talking, defensive guys saying this would be harder. And so that just doesn't happen all the time, man. And so to see their collaboration together, that's a big deal. If they were, oftentimes people just think of offense and defense separate, but if you really want to create something, you need the other point of view or things you wouldn't know or you might forget. And so that's my example from this last block of practices, from a staff winning to say they got better because the defense told the offense, if you did it this way, it'd be more effective. And it's not better for them. It's a harder play at practice, but that's what it's about. And that really fired me up.